Hey mate, have you got a ped? Well, no, it's not a moped, it's a motorbike. Oh, so like a proper bike, yeah? What is it, a Honda Vision? Oh, so you have got a ped. What? No, that's not a ped, it's a scooter, isn't it? Yeah, then it's a ped. What? No, a motor pedal is a motorbike that's started with pedals and you can also pedal with. That's not a moped. Hey man, you got a bike? Yeah. What do you got? A motor scooter. Right. Is it twist and go? Yeah. Yeah. When are you going to move to gears? What do you mean, when am I going to move to gears? Hey man, you need real gears to be a biker. What? No, I don't. Automatic works just fine. Yeah, but it sounds cooler. So what? You know, I don't buy a bike because it sounds nice. I buy it because it drives nice. But it goes faster, mate. I drive to college on this thing. The speed limit's 30. I don't need to go any faster than 60 miles an hour. But it will accelerate faster. Again, I really don't need to go that fast. Hey son, when you getting a wheel bag? Hey, what's wrong with my scooter? The wheels are tiny. Tiny wheels come with pretty much all bikes, even 125 bikes. If I want to get big wheels, then I need to get a much bigger CC engine. Yeah, but you need a wheel bag. But what's wrong with a scooter? It's a scooter, it's got tiny wheels and there's an automatic. Yeah, so what? Tiny wheels is because of the tiny engine and it's an automatic because automatic's better than gears. Hey son, I got you a Christmas present. Oh, what is it? A wheel bag. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like the new bike I got. Not just because it was a gift, but it is quite a nice bike. But until this point, I have been driving a Honda Vision for 1 month I drove a 50cc version, and then for another 2 months I've driven the 110cc version. Simply, I got it off a rental company that offered me a good deal called Kickstart. I eventually decided I wanted to stop renting a bike and buy one, but the buying process was done for me when I just found the keys wrapped up under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. That was a really nice day. But today I'm going to talk about the Honda Vision. Now, at the beginning I did show you basically the common reaction you'll get from other bikers and your parents if you get a scooter. Now, the problem is a lot of people have this opinion that 50cc scooters are peds and that scooters aren't real bikes. Now, for some people this is an issue, but for the people I think who this Honda Vision is going to work best for, this isn't really an issue. And let me honestly tell you, it doesn't matter what other people say is a real bike or isn't a real bike. If you want to drive around on a trike, on a scooter, or whatever, they're all real bikes. This is a real bike, and this is a great scooter. Honestly, I was very tempted to go and buy one of these. And if I hadn't have gotten that bike for Christmas, this is in my top 5 spots for the bikes I would buy, and this would probably be the bike I'd buy, simply because I know how good it is, so I wouldn't be buying something I don't know anything about, and it's relatively cheap. So let me tell you a bit about this scooter. This is the perfect bike for people who started by riding bikes for the same reason I did, and I explained why I started riding bikes in my video on the subject. I'll link it down below. But essentially, the reason, in summarised, I started riding bikes is because I was struggling to pass my driving theory test and needed a cheap mode of transport that didn't require a theory test. So I got a CBT, and afterwards I decided to start on a scooter because even though I'd passed on a geared 125, I knew how they were a lot more difficult and wanted some time to practice. And let me tell you something. The twist and go of a scooter is much easier than gears, and in my opinion is much better. Might make another video on the subject by which one's better, gears and automatic, but I still think automatic is better than gears, and this scooter is half the reason I did. Now, the scooter itself, not so much talking about why I bought it or what I think's better, just talking about the scooter. The scooter is 110 or 50cc depending on which model you get, although I'll tell you right now, go for the 110 if you legally or financially can. It has a very simple dashboard, it has a speedo, a fuelometer, a few warning lights, and the indicator to tell you whether the high beam's on or which way the indicator's going. That's it. You have the indicator controls and the horn and the electric start. Pretty classic Honda brakes of a front hydraulic and rear disc. Very simple to control. And obviously the only control you have that in terms of acceleration is just the throttle. You do have a center stand and a kickstand. Now that is very useful. Obviously the center stand is the best way to store your bike if you have any choice in the matter. You know, if you need to put your bike down, like when I park it to go to college or work, I put it on the center stand. When I put it away overnight, I put it on the center stand with a steering lock on. If you like pull up, I don't know, just outside, you just need to pull up for a second, or you just need to get off the bike quickly, like you've stopped for a quick break or something, like you do on a long journey, then it's nice just to have a quick center stand that you can flick down, just if you like stopping for a couple of seconds, but it's not secure to just leave it on the kickstand. It does have the ability to lock the front wheel, and that's about it really. It does have the storage underneath, which can fit a full face helmet, and there is also room for a passenger, or a pillion I think they call them. Don't know why they call them that. It's just a passenger on the back. It does have foot pegs and a rather comfortable rear seat. Now I haven't driven with any passengers on the back simply because my license won't allow it, but I have sat on the rear seat while waiting for a shop to open, just sat there on my phone, and it's actually quite comfortable, especially with the foot pegs, although beware, if there's only you sat on the back seat, it is a bit unbalanced. I have also had friends sit on the back of the scooter, you know, because they just wanted to sit on it while it was stationary and not moving, and they seemed to think it was quite comfortable. Also, the big space you have with a scooter in between your legs and in front of the fairing, that's quite useful. I managed to sometimes fit a large full backpack, you know, full of college work in front of me there, and there was a little hook that you can hook things onto, although it's not the most secure place to put things. Now the 50cc version goes about as well as you'd expect a 50cc to go. It doesn't quite sound as bad as most 50cc's, but is expectable enough for the cc. I'm not going to get into a debate whether 50cc is powerful enough. I do think it's acceptable just for going around somewhere like Norwich, but that's a subject for an entirely different video. The main thing here is it's not... The 50cc engine is acceptable on that model of the scooter. It does about as well as you'd expect. Tops out at about 30, obviously electronically limited by default to 29, and it's fairly good. The 110 is a much better version because that will top out at 60 miles an hour. I have managed to get it to 63, but that was when you're going downhill with the wind behind me. On average you'll make 50, and on a really straight road you might manage to make 60. So this is perfectly acceptable to be able to take this on a dual carriageway. Just don't try and overtake many people. Also, the extra power of the 110 does come in handy while driving around the streets if you need a little bit of extra. Both models are quite economical. Obviously the 110 goes through fuel a lot quicker than the 50cc version, but they both have a 4.5 litre tank. By my estimate, I haven't seen the user manual, but that's how much fuel I put in an empty tank. So, pretty small tank, which means it will never cost you more than a £5 to fill up, and a very low running costs. I have a small commute to work, so I don't really need to go that far, and having a scooter is very good in the traffic. They can weave in and out of all the traffic jams. There's no such thing as being in a traffic jam if you're brave enough on a scooter, and for parking is a joke. They just slide in anywhere. The Honda Vision is a very effective scooter in my opinion. It's not the only scooter I've ever driven, but it's by far my favourite. To me, it just was the bike I really needed. It was the bike that just went. It wasn't fussy to drive, it wasn't fussy to go. I once ran the 50cc version with no oil in it, and it was still going. I did later put oil in it obviously, but for a little while it ran with no oil just fine, and it was great. The scooter always started, even on freezing cold days with no oil in it, would start every time I wanted it to start. Simple. I didn't even have to use the throttle to convince it to come to life. It would just start with a little tap of the button almost. So and that's why I haven't got a lot to say about the scooter, because There wasn't a lot it did wrong, but there was just so much it did right. It didn't do anything massively special, it just did everything I wanted gently. The scooter was manoeuvrable enough just to nip down to the shops, or to head into college, or even to head down to Norwich. And especially in Norwich, it was very manoeuvrable around the traffic. It wasn't amazingly fast, but 60 miles an hour on a scooter is nothing to shove at on a little 110. The storage space was really handy for keeping the helmet in, and that's the point I'm trying to make. If you are, like me, someone who just wants a basic bike, either they're just waiting to pass their car license, or they don't want anything complicated, they don't want to mech around with gears, the Honda Vision is the perfect bike for them. It's not as flash as any of the others, the CBF or the R125, but it will do. If you literally just want a scooter and you just want something that will work every time but won't look amazingly flash while it's doing it, then get a Honda Vision 110. If you want something to be a cafe racer or just for fun, then get something like a CBF. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Honda Vision. In case you're interested, the footage I have here is some video I had archived from me in Norwich on my 110, in case you're wondering. But anyway, that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.